co-founder of Vortex Immersion Media and an entrepreneur with...
Yeah, so I guess it was a little over a couple of years ago that Facebook did the deal with Oculus VR for $2 billion, which really set into motion a resurgence of virtual reality. I got involved in the field in '91, actually. I'm an electrical engineer by training, and I left aerospace engineering in 1990 to work in a planetarium, actually, and took an interest in VR and worked to bring virtual reality into science centers. So, just to review, these are the top consumer headsets. These are the best numbers that I could find, grounded, realistic numbers for actual sales so far of those headsets. So you're looking at a little over 5 million of these headsets out there now. But actually, interestingly, Google Cardboard has nearly that many itself, and has really helped to popularize the format. They have over 1,000 apps available. There's been 350,000 YouTube hours streamed in cardboard format. So it's getting out there, and maybe not as fast as everybody would want, but is definitely a moving freight train. I thought what I'd do is talk a little bit about this whole space. We hear VR, and we think of it as it's a headset that you put on your face, or you strap your mobile smartphone to your face, maybe. But there's really quite a continuum of technologies here. This is the reality virtuality continuum, ranging from on the right to a pure virtual environment, and to the left a pure real environment, and everything in between. So, and I thought what I do is just cover a little bit, just show how this all fits together. Really, it creates quite an ecosystem, and ranging from mobile VR, mixed reality, AR type experiences. Mixed reality is really showing up in a big way now. You see virtual reality roller coasters where you wear a headset while you're on the roller coaster, and that's a form of mixed reality. The Void is definitely one to check out. That's in Times Square now with Ghostbusters. The Void, you put on a headset, but it's untethered and you're free to walk around. And you have tactile and 4D kind of effects. So wind might blow on you, or different. You can reach out and touch things actually, and feel things. What you're feeling is just a prop. But in the headset, with the headset on, you might see something very elaborate, like a control panel that you can interact with. So this is going to be a very, it's a very robust technology. I think it's going to be quite popular. There's also kiosks and moving chairs and things like that, for VR experiences. Of course, we all know Pokemon Go. Mobile AR has been around for a while, really. I mean, I've been using StarChart for a while. You hold your phone up and pan it around the sky, and you can see an augmentation of the night sky with all the constellations and everything, right? AR glasses are coming. Daiquiri has an industrial AR helmet. Meta is out there. There's a few others. We're all waiting for Magic Leap. That's the one that, they've raised over $1 billion to develop this technology. So, we may soon be walking around looking not at just a physical world, but an augmented world with data, digital sculptures, digital data, entertainment experiences, little messages and notes that other people have left in physical spaces. There's another field that isn't as well known and has yet to be fully exploited, and it's not really in the press or anything, but it's called spatial augmented reality. And this is where we actually project pixels or map pixels, maybe with LEDs or whatever, onto physical environments. So these are examples here from Ramesh Raskar, who actually co-authored a book on the topic. Basically, you can just imagine you take this whole room and spray paint it gray, but now reproject textures back onto everything. Now you can wave your hand and change the color or the carpet or the, like that. So it's a very powerful technology that's not been used much. And I thought what I'd do is just show a quick example of spatial augmented reality. So you can see the walls disappear and you're in essentially an infinite space. And now if you add to that tracking and gesture recognition, the space that you're in now can respond to you. So you can walk into an architectural space, and if you've opted in to share your personal data, you can reach into the cloud with a gesture, pull your personal data, throw it onto a surface, and trade photos with people, and friend people with a handshake, right? So essentially what we're talking about here is bringing the cyber world into physical spaces and architectural spaces. And of course now projection and LED pixel mapping are ways to do that, but when we upgrade to the Magic Leap or whatever, we're not even going to need to do that anymore. We'll be able to take those systems that we've developed and project them virtually onto your retina. So another subset of spatial augmented reality is called spatial immersive displays. I published a paper on this in '97, and there's a number of different embodiments of that. The Cave actually came out in '91, I believe, and that's projecting onto 5 or 6 walls and creating an immersive environment. There's domes, there's mega walls, there's wraparound screens, there's all kinds of different systems out there. But something else I wanted to say about VR is, as you know, virtual reality essentially opaques out the world. So when you put on a headset, you lose touch with your physical environment. Now, we're kind of already doing that with our smartphones. It's very easy. When you pick up a smartphone, you're checking out of the physical world to an extent, and now portaling into a cyber world. And so I just thought I'd point out, if we go back to the mixed reality spectrum, there's really 2 extremes here. One is the future scenario where your body is floating in an amniotic fluid with cords hooked into your nervous system, and you're completely embodied in a cyber world. And of course, all your friends are in there too. So maybe it's okay, you know. The other extreme is really the holodeck, where we bring the cyber world into a physical world in such a way that we believe it's real. So both of these are VR-type technologies or AR-type technologies. So my focus has been on digital domes. When I got into this in the early 90s, I realized that the headsets were expensive, difficult to work with, they're clunky, and they cause cyber sickness. So I pursued the domes as an alternative portal into virtual worlds for large groups of people. So what's interesting here, there's actually quite a number of these out there. There's almost 1,400 digital domes in the world now, mostly science centers and museums, also theme parks and digital cinemas, large screen cinemas. So again, I see this as an ecosystem, almost like cinema. You have out-of-home cinema, and you have at-home cinema in your home theater. Well, now we have out-of-home group immersion, and we have at-home personal immersion in virtual worlds. So some of the projects I've worked on over the years, I've designed about 14 fixed domes. These are, brick and mortar buildings, basically, in Egypt, Mexico City. There's 3 in the UK. These are like educational, informal science educational facilities. What I've been doing more recently is bringing this technology into entertainment. And it's been a difficult thing because, you think maybe a cinema, right? We're going to build dome cinemas. Well, you need, very compelling Hollywood-like content. And the content creators don't want to create for a medium when there's no screens, or not many screens. And the developers don't want to build screens when there's not much content. So you have a little chicken and egg going on there, which I think will break through soon. But in the meantime, we have been doing projects where we can create the content and the venue, both. And so we own the screen, we own the content, and we create events. And that's been working very well as a business model. I'll show you just a few of the projects that we've done. The Stella Sensorium was put in Toronto last year, and it's actually a digital dining experience. And so we had a 60-foot dome, 80 place settings, and $125 US per plate. And it's sold out the entire month of dining experience. So it's an immersive experience, surround visuals, surround sound, and also aroma and vibration, believe it or not. When they serve the soup, it's on a vibrating plate. So that was a lot of fun. This is a larger event that we did for a group called the Production Club, and this is called the Dot Party. This was an EDM, electronic dance music event in downtown Los Angeles for the founder of Minecraft and 3,000 of his closest friends. And they had this very cool party in a 200-foot, 60-meter dome that we created for them. And we helped to train 12 different animators, and they produced a lot of amazing content. There was one scene where you have a farmhouse and a flying saucer comes over, and a traction beam picks up a cow, stuff like that. This is a more recent project that we did this year. This is a 160-foot dome. This was a ticketed concert event in the desert outside of Los Angeles in a place called Joshua Tree. And this is an inflatable structure as well. And this structure, we had 12 20,000 lumen video projectors, edge blended, as you see in the dome out here, that Professor Young-Suk Park has helped to bring to Korea as an example of this technology. And if you're more interested in the technology, by the way, Young-Suk is available. My Korean is not so good, so she can help you with that. This is a concert, and 2,500 people. Microsoft actually did the programming for this, and it was all real-time 3D. It was using Unity 3D, and we accepted 2 4K feeds from 2 Unity computers and into our remapping server, and then remapped that on to 6 unique channels with each was double-stacked 20K projectors. So anyway, don't want to get too technical on you, but it was a fun project. So anyway, that's just a little taste of the work that we've done. Thank you. We also operate a 50-foot, 15-meter diameter studio in downtown Los Angeles. And as you might imagine, we have a lot of talent, local talent coming in, and they all want to play in this space. And what's interesting now are the possibilities that have opened up because of virtual reality. One of the things that we've specialized in is the creation of live 360 performances. These are just a few of the pieces that I've either collaborated or produced over the years. Some of these are also virtual reality headset experiences, like Ceremony we just finished producing. And this is a meditative or say contemplative piece that is designed to relax the mind and bring you deep into beautiful artistic worlds. So whereas in contrast to that, Mobius 8 is a laser instrument with music much like what we just played, dubstep, and he's playing these laser beams, you know, creating spectacle. Bella Gaia is about the beautiful earth, and it's designed to synthesize what an astronaut sees from space. So when you're in space, a lot of astronauts have what they call an experience that they call the overview effect. And you have this epiphany like, oh my God, we all live on this little planet with a very thin atmosphere, and that's it. And there's no borders. So we seek to recreate that experience in an immersive environment. So these projects are a lot of fun, and we want performance amphitheaters built around the world to tour these kinds of performances. We also have been collaborating with C3 Center for Conscious Creativity and a startup called Spherical Media Group to create I wouldn't call it a medical application like Alex has suggested, but still we're looking at how to create programming that's socially or personally beneficial. So creating experiences that open your mind or open your heart, that evoke mindfulness or a sense of awe, bring you into a state of like non-duality where you can tolerate many ambiguities, you know, and then also fun stuff like synesthesia, psychedelica, journeys like that. So, but of course, if we're creating all this content, we need a place to perform. And what we're looking at, these are two different designs that I'm sharing with you. This one is a 120-foot diameter pop-up dome. It seats 800 people, and we can put this up in about a week, a little less than a week, and then perform events in there. If we have the funding, we would instead perhaps do a permanent dome, which is designed for live performance with the elevator stage and backstage underneath the seating deck, and of course you can combine these into even like dome villages where you have a cinema dome and a live performance dome and an exhibit dome like that. So there's a number of projects that we are seeking to fund like that. So, and what's very interesting about this now is that when you experience this, you know, of course, you're not looking at performers on a stage. The whole idea here is that you have a seamless experience, that the performers are in an infinite environment, just like the spatial augmented reality I showed you, where the walls fall down and you're in this infinite space. So we simulate an infinite environment, and the performers are in that environment. The stage is projection mapped, and you can't tell where the stage ends and infinity begins. It's all one seamless gestalt, I think is one word you might call it, experience. And what's very interesting about these sort of spaces, I would add, is that now it's possible to film this event and live stream it with a 360 camera. So your favorite performer, Beyonce, whoever, is performing, and you don't want to fly to the US, to Los Angeles to see the performance. Well, you sit at home, you put on your headset, and the show is all around you, right? So this is the business model that we're developing for the live streaming of 360 experiences. So one other thing I mentioned, and this is a lot of fun, I've talked about sentient spaces, and I actually do think that you're going to see this everywhere. You're going to see it in retail stores. You're going to see it in your public library. You're going to see this in, of course, nightclubs. So basically, the technology will allow you to interact with the environment and other people. And so what I think is really cool about this immersive media format is that it brings people together. And you can have a group of people, you can make eye contact with them. You can touch them, you can dance, you can play as a group of people, and all the while you're immersed in an environment that is a very powerful immersive environment, and you can interact with that environment. So in this concept for virtual reality nightclub, we have photonic go-go booths, I call it. So you can be dancing in the go-go booth, you dance, and you see your avatar on the dome dancing, right? And so maybe one scenario for this would be you meet first in the metaverse. So you're like Second Life, if you're familiar with that, or a metaverse. So there's a virtual nightclub in the metaverse, and you have an avatar that you steer in that world, and you're dancing on the dance floor in the nightclub, and you're meeting people, and you're texting people, and you're connecting socially in the metaverse. Well, what you do then is you conspire to meet in a physical place. And so maybe Las Vegas, we have a virtual reality nightclub, and everybody who's been hanging out in the metaverse goes to that nightclub. But maybe they're wearing masks that are 3D printed masks with their avatar face, so you don't know who they are exactly. There's some anonymity. And if I'm the fire avatar, so when I dance, I throw my arm up and fire shoots up into the air, right, in the metaverse, right? Well, when I'm in the nightclub, I do the same thing, and fire shoots into infinite space on the dome, right? So we create these attributes that we take with us into these environments. And another example might be like a play space. I call it a digital playground, where you walk in and you look on the floor and there's a ball, but the ball is projected onto the floor. And I'm the fire avatar. I kick the ball, and it shoots fire as it moves. And then a girl comes up and kicks it, and it shoots butterflies out when it moves, right? And I go on the monkey bars, and I'm doing this, and I look on the wall, and I see my reflection on the wall, but I'm a monkey, you know? And if I fall, there's snake pit below me. If I fall, the snakes will get me, you know, like that. So it's coming, guys, it's coming. We're going to be surrounded with pixels wherever we go, and it's very exciting. Technology needs to be used responsibly, I think, because now we're really taking control of people's nervous systems. And you have to understand that about this technology, is that really, like when we perform in the dome, that's how we think of it, that we're actually, our instrument is the nervous systems of the audience. So you want to be careful how you use that. But anyway, thank you very much for your time and attention.
Very much.